the Brooklyn Nets have 6 first-round draft picks, which is crazy. Maybe they tried. Yeah, that's crazy. They have 1/6 of the NBA draft this year, so maybe they make a move. I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks tonight. I think we'll see some players move around because the NBA next year is wide open.
All right, a lot happening in the NBA. A few new trades went down last night ahead of the draft tonight. But before we get into that, we got to witness another great game from Angel Reese, who set another WNBA record. Her 18-point, 17-rebound, 6-assist performance in Chicago's win over LA made her the fastest player to reach 150 rebounds and 50 assists in a single season. Rodney, what do you make of the way that Angel is kind of getting over slowly this sophomore slump?
We all know that Angel is a very dynamic rebounder. Seeing her convert some of those rebounds into baskets at a more efficient rate, I think is the one thing we've all been waiting for her to start doing. That's obviously the biggest criticism and critique we have. The first game of the season, man, Angel hit a 3, and I don't know if she's hit a 3 since then. So we're looking just for more expansion in her game because she has the brand identity, right? She has the cultural cachet. So it's like, how can we now make sure that the on-court performance is on par with the off-court presence? And the moment that she's able to more consistently do this, I just think the sky is the limit for her. But she's got to figure out how to have these games more consistently.
Yeah, and it seems like she is kind of turning the corner. Earlier this month, of course, she posted her first career triple-double, which was huge. Mm-hmm. She also became the fastest player to score 500 points, 500 rebounds, and they also snapped a 3-game skid. So it seems like maybe Chicago, we're hoping that they can string some wins together, and this can be a turning point for Chicago in their season as well.
Real quick, the Sparks are ass though. They were supposed to be a lot better than they've been playing. I don't know what's going on, but the Sparks
ain't
it.
Injuries.
And so, but this it ain't looking good in LA right now.
Okay, well, let's move on to the NBA. Like I mentioned, the NBA draft is tonight, which is kind of crazy. That really snuck up on me. But let's talk about a few trades. The biggest one right now is Porzingis going to the Atlanta Hawks. Rodney, what do you make of that 3-team trade sending him there?
You know what? I think the Drew Holiday trade is actually a bigger trade than this because the Celtics got back a piece that... Yeah, I think the Celtics actually got back a piece that they kind of value and covet a little bit. Anthony Simons is a young, dynamic scoring guard who hasn't been in an environment of winning basketball in quite a while. And so it'll be interesting to see how he's able to help offload the loss of Jason Tatum. He's a guy who I feel like can go out and get you 20 points a game. But do you need that as the Boston Celtics if you have Jaylen Brown and Derek White? You know, you are going to need a little bit more of a scoring punch, but it'll be interesting to see how Anthony Simons fits with this team. Porzingis has been hurt. He's always hurt, right? Like, like the structure of his body just doesn't allow for him to be on a court like that. If he's able to be the Porzingis that we saw in New York and we saw for a majority of the first year with the Celtics, I think, Trae Young finally has an all-star caliber running mate, which can bode extremely well for all the things that Trae Young can do. A Trae Young and Porzingis pick and roll is elite, but will he be able to stay healthy? I don't think George Niang is going to help out the Celtics too much, but they're clearly trying to shed some salary. That's what most of this is about for the Celtics.
Yeah. Yeah, I unfortunately, every time I think of Porzingis, I think of the way that Stephen A. Smith reacted when the Knicks drafted him. That I feel like that's just going to follow him his entire career. But what I will say is somebody who was, what? You don't think of that? You don't think about that sometimes?
Nah, because he was a proven commodity. Before he blew out his ACL in New York, like he was the guy the Knicks fan base had put all their faith and prayers into. He just got injured, but from a talent standpoint, he's one of the most versatile big men in the league.
He's good. I'm just saying, I just hate that Stephen A. reacted that way. That's just,
Stephen.
But anyways, as somebody who was born and raised in Atlanta, went to a number of Hawks games, it always felt like this team just needed something. They just always are missing something. And then when they got Trae Young, it was like, okay, this is what they needed, but it still wasn't enough. And Trae Young was slated to be one of the next superstars of the league. And so I'm trying to figure out what's going. I'm hoping that Porzingis can kind of help them get over this hump? Because I don't know what is going on down in Atlanta. What do you think?
Like I said, he's a great piece. I think the Hawks historically, it's weird. There's two cities, Atlanta and DC, that are such phenomenal markets to be in that don't really get to sign a lot of free agents outright. You don't really see a lot of people signing up to go play in Atlanta or go play in DC. I'm not quite sure why that is. We can talk about the Wizards trade in a second. They also acquired CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole, which I don't understand why they're collecting old ass guards up in DC, but whatever. That's what they want to do. Go right ahead. Trae Young was traded though for Luka Doncic. So you kind of had the franchise cornerstone had you kept Luka. In hindsight, I guess both teams have had an equal amount of success, kind of. You know, obviously the Mavs got to go to a championship the season before last now with Luka, but the Hawks have had Eastern Conference Finals appearances. They just don't have enough talent, you know, because they're like in this middle range of teams, so their draft picks are never that high, and they don't have the assets to flip in order to maybe get a superstar back. So they're kind of in NBA purgatory, which is where every NBA team hopes to avoid. You know, Trae Young, as talented as he is, it's really hard to put the entirety of your franchise on the back of a 5'11" guard. You know, that doesn't really happen too often. So they're going to have to figure out a roster around him that allows him to still be the Trae Young that we know, but also picks up on some of his deficiencies, you know, obviously on the defensive end, and maybe taking away some of those like 3 to 4 shots he takes every game that are just like, why'd you shoot that? So that's what I see with the Hawks. And strip clubs and hookah are just probably ruining the team, but you know, it goes without saying. Hey, Atlanta's a tough city, my guy. That's a tough city to stay focused in. You know that.
Speaking of focus, New Orleans also has proven to be tough for some people. Do you feel like the Pelicans picking up Jordan Poole means that they're going to keep Zion?
Hey, yo, Jordan Poole being on the Pelicans is just like, it's just a bad, like, why would you do that? You know, it's just one of those things where, like, if there is a guy who is, you know, generally unserious, that market, which is generally unserious, is the worst combination. It's like Zion and food. It's like Zion being drafted to New Orleans, and you know he loves to eat. Jordan Poole not being a serious basketball player and being drafted and being traded for by an unserious organization is just unwise. This is not a good basketball fit. I don't know what they're doing. Why you would choose somebody who's displayed a level of immaturity to be the teammate of Zion Williamson, your franchise cornerstone, just is idiotic to me. I don't understand the direction of this organization. And at some point, this ownership and maybe even this city is going to lose the New Orleans Pelicans. At some point, the league is going to have to say, hey, y'all are too inept, too inadequate, and we can't allow you to ruin the brand of the NBA by putting this product out on the floor continuously. It's bad in New Orleans.
I don't know why you using inept right there just has me so tickled, because that is really what it is.
What the hell do they be doing, yo?
I don't know, and I hate that for New Orleans because they've gone through so much as a city. They just want to win a little bit, like, you know.
So there's like this behind the curtains of the NBA, right? Like everyone talks about how poorly the organization is run, you know, structurally. And not that the people are bad, but the culture of the team, of the entire organization, not just the players, but the entire organization is just poor. You know, it's regarded as one of the worst run teams in all of professional sports behind the scenes. And, you know, I don't know what the course correction for them is. Do you trade Zion and try to bring in, I don't know, just hit the reset button? Does it matter if you continue to have the culture that exists there in place? They're gonna have to blow this thing up like in a real way, and I don't mean like in the Zion Williamson weight kind of way. Just like they're gonna have to just hit the reset button, champ, because it's nearly not. It ain't looking good, yo. And I don't know how you fix it.
I'm trying to look up their front office here because I'm like,
yeah, they've gotten rid of some people who in the past Zion actually, you know, really loved. But if those were people who weren't holding him accountable and his weight was what his weight was, then maybe those were the wrong people, though great personalities and characters to have, but not necessarily people that help get the best out of him and this team. You know, they've had some women in the front office. They had, I'm blanking.
I thought it was Swin Cash.
Swin
right?
Cash. Yeah, they had Swin Cash in the front office.
Because I was like, is she still there? But she's not. She's not anymore.
Yeah,
so that's what I was just.
They let her go about 2 years ago. So I don't know what you do, man. I don't know what you do. I think you might have to pick that team up and and move them somewhere. It's been announced, or it's been speculated that soon there'll be an announcement of 2 new teams added to the NBA, one in Vegas, one in Seattle. So expansion in the NBA is on the horizon. So maybe the New Orleans Pelicans being shifted potentially to the Eastern Conference, as opposed to being in the Western Conference, is something that can change their fortunes a little bit. I'm just trying to speculate and hypothesize something that could give this organization a jolt of energy, because right now it's ugly.
Right. Okay, before we go, the NBA draft is tonight. Your guy out of Rutgers, where do you think he's going?
Hey, so let me be very clear. There's 2 guys out of Rutgers. My guy is Dylan Harper, the one from Jersey that will go number 2 overall, likely to the San Antonio Spurs. Dylan Harper is a phenomenal prospect. I don't know how he fits on that San Antonio Spurs team when you already have Castle, when you already have De'Aaron Fox, and a team with Wemby. He is a guy who you put the ball in his hands from day one and you let him figure it out, but he's not going to have the luxury of being able to do that on a team with such established veterans, which I hate, because I think he's such a innovative creator with the ball in his hands, a phenomenal shot maker. The other kid from Rutgers, Ace Bailey, I don't know what the hell is going on with Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey tweaking. He's not taking meetings. He's not working out for teams. It said that he'll be passed over by the Sixers at the number 3 pick. And by and large, he was regarded as a top 3 pick heading into his freshman campaign. He measured shorter than everybody thought he was. He measured in at 6'7". It was speculated he was 6'10" coming out of high school. And so he has a lot of things that are stacked up against him, including his inefficient shot taking and making. He didn't perform as well at Rutgers as many suspected that he would, and the team didn't even make the tournament. And so Ace Bailey is going to be in a really, really tough spot, because I think that people are now getting a scent about him that he's not a guy you can build the team around, because he's not as focused on what it takes to be a winning player. So that'll be interesting. Of course, I'm interested to see the Dallas Mavericks officially take Cooper Flag and what that looks like for him out there in Dallas. It's a lot. This is a really deep draft, really deep draft. The Brooklyn Nets have 6 first-round draft picks, which is crazy. Maybe they that's crazy. They have 1/6 of the NBA draft this year, so maybe they make a move. I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks tonight. I think we'll see some players move around. Because the NBA next year is wide open. There is no team that is definitively far and away the best team in the league. And so I think a lot of teams are gonna use the Indiana Pacers as a source of inspiration and motivation to just push all their chips to the middle of the table and go for it, because it's a lot of parity in the league right now. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking my ass off. My bad.
It's okay.
Are you excited about anything in the draft tonight? I'm an NBA guy through and through, so I can't help it.
I just wanted to hear about Ace Bailey, because I saw an article that he has been a mystery and there was a lot of speculation, a lot of things that people were concerned about. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. So thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yes, absolutely, man. We appreciate you, Samaria, taking the time out of your illustrious, beautiful honeymoon, to speak with us here on the Fumble. But Fumble family, y'all let us know your thoughts about all things NBA. What are your thoughts on the Boston Celtics move, as well as who do you feel like will go number 3 overall to the Philadelphia 76ers today? I'm looking forward to seeing how this draft plays out.